I'd like to welcome everybody to the June 26th New Ulm Human Rights Commission meeting. Call this meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda?
Yes.
All right, any changes or updates?
I think we were going to just add under the community outreach or the education committee, a very brief report from Wendy, Commissioner Ringhofer and myself about a proposed forum. Well, that's actually been approved on race from another organization. I'll let you guys know about it.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I like my gavel. We'll move on. Approval of the May 22nd minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look over those? Any updates or changes?
Nope.
Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Second. All in favor?
Yeah, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Moving on, resignation. We received Ron Fleischman's resignation late last week. So we need to kind of regroup and adjust. And that flows into number 5 for new commissioner recommendations. So I'd like to remind everybody, if you have recommendations or somebody you'd like to put up for nomination, get that information emailed to the mayor as soon as you can with contact information and why you would like to see them as a part of the commission. Events committee. We have a few things. So can I ask Ruth Ann Webster to approach the podium, please? And she's going to address us on the voter fraud panel with the League of Women Voters.
Right, thank you. Ruth Ann Webster, 820 South German Street. I'm here because I'm currently serving as the president of the New Ulm League of Women Voters. And we're here looking for a partner to plan and present a public forum on what we're now starting to refer to more broadly as election integrity. Believe me, this is a work in progress. I think that you know that our connection here is with Alma Marin, who is, of course, sitting on your commission and is also a member of the League of Women Voters, and that's the personal connection. So. The only thing we've got sort of firmly in mind is a date, place, and time, and a partner. That would be you, and Alma is the reason we're together. But
and I did bringing up the last time, and all the commissioners agreed that we are definitely interested in partnering.
Oh,
so
good.
This is just
yeah, good. Well, then I'll just
explain.
Yeah, I'll just talk about. As I think you know, the League of Women Voters has for almost 100 years been fighting to defend the most fundamental American right, and that's the right to cast a ballot. I mean, for most people, their only participation in our democratic system is to vote. And so, the right to vote is really an essential human right. And that's the connection that we see. And as we started, what League likes to do is study issues, and as our study committee started to work together and talk together and throw around ideas, we thought that a better approach is, rather than to focus on what might be one problem, which is allegations of voter fraud. Rather than that one problem, let's look at the larger issues of election integrity. And we started, of course, we've been doing a lot of reading, and there's a lot of things to read about. There's a lot of things in the news. The most recent thing is the allegations that there was efforts to hack into state vote counting software. That's an issue of election integrity. The Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, has just accepted a case from Wisconsin alleging partisan gerrymandering, and partisan gerrymandering is an issue of election integrity. The claims of voter fraud are things that affect election integrity. Efforts to expand mail-in ballots. Early no-excuse voting, here in New Ulm going from 8 polling places to 4 polling places. These are all the sorts of things that are coming into the mix for our League of Women Voters study. And as this study moves forward, we're we're certain that various issues will stand out as the issues of local concern, things that we feel the public should know about in a non-partisan, not connected to either political party or any political position, but just having a forum where we can, for example, give the point of view of the local election officials. One of the things that we've pretty much decided we're going to do as a part of our study, as our League of Women Voters study, is that we're going to have interviews where our members will be interviewing each election official from all the counties that are in our state Senate district, so we can get some sense of what the people who are really running our elections think are the most important issues of public concern. And we feel that, so one of the panelists, we're envisioning a forum of people who know what they're talking about, talking on the issues that we have identified. It's very likely that we'll have an election official on the panel. Teresa Caveney, who's chairing this study committee, thinks we can get someone from the Secretary of State's office, so there's sort of a broader thing. That's about all I know, except that we're doing a study. We're real excited about it. We think that there is going to be some issues of real public concern that we move forward. And anytime you put on a public forum, it's good to have a partner. And so we're here looking for a partner to plan and present this public forum. I think Alma's got a date, place, and time in mind.
Well, we had agreed that November 7th, I think it was Tuesday, and I did check with the community center, and it is available, and I put a tentative reserve, just if the commission today approves to partner. I have to say that I am involved in the study, and one of the things I'm doing is researching the voting history in Minnesota and the current bill, the latest bills that affect basically voting rights, which it's a human right, representatives, electing your own representatives. And I would love it if somebody else from this commission would like to get involved. And the League of Women Voters is not only for women. So.
Well, that's not the button. I put my Making Democracy Work League of Women Voters button on, but no. So like I said, the only we're looking at November. You can certainly make a decision to go along with this. I can, as things progress, Alma can keep you informed, or I can come back and give you some more information. But basically, the league will be doing the study. We're certain that from this study, great idea for public forum on what we're now calling really election integrity will come forward, and I'm sure we'll be proud to present this. It'll be a good exercise on a day that would be an election day if it were an even numbered year. So.
Oh, I'd like to help, if it's all
That
right.
would, that would be lovely.
I do have
We'd
a
love to
question.
you.
Yeah.
What would the Human Rights Commission's responsibility be in partnering with League of Women Voters in this?
Well,
Your expectations of us.
right. Well, our expectations is that you'd help us get the place, the city
Okay.
venue, and other than that, when we get to the decision making, when we're trying to decide whether there should be 8 people on a panel or 3 people or something like that, I would appreciate a little subcommittee to join with us and say, oh, well, should we have people talk for 10 minutes and then have audience questions, or, do we need a PowerPoint, or, just that sort of, I always think the more, you folks have put on some really good forums. And so I always think that the more people you can get involved, the better product that you get. So it basically help us with the community center and getting that sort of stuff lined up. That's Alma's real good at that. And then probably when it gets to be, late September or early October, where we're getting into we know what we're going to do, I'd like a committee of 2 or 3 of Human Rights Commissions to help put that together.
Great if you could
All right,
help.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So,
Do we want to go ahead and vote on this today? Do we want to table it and take a vote next month when we have more people here?
3, 4, 5, do you have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
Yeah, I would like
I
to
would,
proceed.
I will move to partner with the League of Women Voters for the election integrity panel come November.
Do I have a second for that?
Have a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ruth Ann.
So, like I said, I already reserved the community center.
Excellent.
And for the afternoon. And if there's anything else that
I
I
would love to
feel
do
that we can
flyers.
help, I will coordinate with the
Excellent.
league.
Okay.
And I'll keep you informed of
Perfect.
We should, if I may add, we should probably look at probably a September date in forming a subcommittee to help everybody there at
Okay.
League of Women Voters. Getting, as she said, 2 or 3 of us to
So,
There
that
we
would be
go.
great. Oh,
do what we need to do.
sounds good. And everybody's invited. We meet the second Saturday of the month. I think it is the second Saturday of the month. And you're most welcome to come and listen to what we're discussing and what we're planning.
Where do you meet?
At Lola's, 9 o'clock on Saturday. The
AM or PM?
The second Saturday. Well, AM, I know. I'm not too crazy about that either, but,
It is what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, moving on to the Bavarian Blast Parade, which is on July 16th this year. We had mentioned last month about possible participation with the League of Women Voters. Is that something that we've done any more?
And I
thought
wish
on?
that Ruth Ann
should
had
have
stuck
kept-
around, I know, I forgot about it. Because we have not, I have not consulted with them, if we can, participate with them. I don't know how many.
I can say I'm unavailable that day, so.
I am
Oh,
also.
okay. You're unavailable.
You gotta tell 'em.
And I will be, marching with the League of Women Voters, so we certainly can carry the
Torch.
torch. And if you want, I can ask them the next time if they'll be okay for us just to.
That
to
would be
join.
the second Tuesday in July, or you have
Oh,
one
or
this week?
the Bavarian Blast or the meeting,
The meeting.
the second Saturday in July.
So
I
that
can
would
ask.
be really close to.
Oh, that would be very close. I don't think they'll have a problem, but I don't know. Because remember, we are the city. As a city, are we allowed to participate in an organization outside the city? I mean, it is a nonpartisan.
Yeah, she left before we got any
I know.
chance to talk to her
To
about.
write
Well,
about
perhaps
that,
the
I
mayor
know.
could answer that question for us.
The Sister Cities Commission is in the parade route.
Oh,
They're in the parade.
right.
As just them as an entity, or are they partnering? Okay.
No, they
Okay.
haven't partnered with anyone. At least they have been in the past. This year, the Sister Cities person won't be here until
Okay, so
maybe the parade in October.
So you don't think there'd be any problem with two of us, you know, myself as part of the Human Rights Commission and one of somebody else,
Carrying a sign?
carrying a sign that,
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I'll ask them, and if they agree.
We're trying to let people know that
Mhm.
what commissions are doing and that we do have commissions for various things, so.
Mhm.
if we sit
Sounds
here
good.
And wait for NewCat to get it presented to everybody, no, because not
Okay.
everybody's watching.
Okay, I will ask the lead.
More people on the parade.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brown County Fair booth rental. I think we decided at the last meeting we definitely wanted to do that. It would be $105 to do the registration, and that would give us a standard size booth, which is an 8x10.
105 or 150?
On the Brown County Free Fair application for the exhibitor, $105.
Oh.
Okay, we had 150 on our minutes last time, if I recall.
That'll give us,
Oh, it says between 100 and 150.
Oh,
My
I see
mistake.
that. I see that, yeah.
that'll give us an electric outlet, 7-foot tables, 2 of them, and 4 chairs.
We get electricity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting, right?
Where are the booths at, in the,
In the air
Grandstand?
conditioned,
or in the
in the
building?
Civic Center there.
Okay.
So definitely we want a booth in the air conditioning.
All the wind.
Okay.
When is that?
Um,
I want to say it's first week of
August 9th through the
9th,
13th. And before it fell over, I did a floor sign for our booth so that people know exactly who we are. Kind of catchy. The top part, thank you, Mayor. The top part is our logo. Just something catchy so they know how to recognize us from afar.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We have stickers. Everybody has a sticker that is the specific logo as well. I would like to get a banner, which I've designed one. I haven't ordered it yet. I've designed a banner, and I've also designed bookmarks that on the front looks pretty much like that. But then on the back, it has all of the UN human rights.
We'll have to fix
Bullet
that
point,
before
we will.
we,
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
And so I think, those things would be good. There's something, and very thick, dense business cards that also have our contact information on them, the phone number, address, and then that too has the list of human rights. I think some things that are small like that, the bookmarks will be beneficial. The cards would be nice for people to just be able to have. Stickers that, it catches the eye.
Yes.
I think we should have a brochure.
I like the idea of a brochure. I can work on getting that. I can't guarantee that would be done by,
Then,
well, it's August. I could get that done.
Well, we have the old ones, which,
We do have the old
we
ones.
could just use the old ones.
for now, yeah. But that's what I brought some of these,
Right.
just to give us an idea.
But I think for 2018, we may want to revisit that
Brochure.
brochure and maybe make some tweaks to it.
I agree.
And I also, a lot of good ideas you have there, but we have to make sure we're going to be able to stay within our budget for this year as well.
And I was
Right.
just getting to that. If we wanted to do the banner, 240 stickers, 100 bookmarks, and 250 of those dense business cards, I have a coupon. However, before the coupon, it would be $351.25.
Okay.
So we do have that available left in the budget currently. Right now, our budget is remaining of about $500. So we can go over that at the end when we're at budget. Did you have something you'd like to say?
Yeah, a couple of things. We can also get literature from the Minnesota Department of Human Rights.
Okay.
When you're in the fair and you have families and kids in there, it's nice to have an activity, and I can certainly come up with something for them to do, diversity or some, I've done a couple of activities for kids for shows and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'll present that to you guys later. And Candy maybe have something for them
Yes.
to do.
Candy's a
That's what I was gonna
great
bring up.
idea.
Yeah.
And you don't
They
have to
love
spend too
candy.
much.
My little one goes right to the booth.
Well,
with candy
candy.
or the balloon.
No, but that's not environmentally safe, environmentally good. So that would be, and I also have one more comment, but should we just discuss what else we need for the
I
booth?
have one more thing I was going to ask about the signs, handing them out possibly at the fair, but I know that there's an expense.
Those, if we wanted, right now we have approximately 50 left. They have gone over like
They're going to be
crazy.
hot, yeah.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
It might be something, instead of just giving those away, we could have people register for them. And we
Can we
give
sell
How much,
them?
No.
how much
No.
were those signs again?
$10 a piece.
$10 a piece. Yeah, I'm struggling with the banner since we have this great sign for this year. Banner is something perhaps in the future, but I agree with Tim. It would be nice to invest some of that money that we have left over into more of these signs, because we'll have traffic there. We'll have people coming by, and I think it's a good opportunity for us, to people who are not familiar.
And we have
with
that
us.
new Human Rights Commission blue banner, which we can maybe attach a couple of the signs and use that for a banner. And
That's nice. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
great sign
Yeah.
right there. I mean,
Yeah.
Because you want something across the back, right?
Yeah, that's what
That's
I was
weird.
thinking, as well as the smaller banner that I designed for the parades, because that's not something we can carry in a parade.
Yes, you can. Yes, we can.
Are you
Put
sure?
you put a stick in the back and carry it between
Perfect.
two people.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it on between two, and you get somebody like a,
Couple of,
sandwich.
couple of oxen, one on each side, and
Oh, yeah, we can carry that.
So no banner, more signs. The signs, smaller order, if we do a smaller order than 50, I believe it goes up to $11 a sign or $12 a sign.
so we are looking at, with 50, that's
$500.
$500.
And then that gives us nothing that is smaller
Mhm.
to hand out.
And we've got to probably keep some money back for our election integrity panel as well. I mean, that's,
We're already contributing the location, so they don't have to pay for that. The only thing I think they mentioned, maybe the speaker fee or,
yeah.
It might be nice to have some of these smaller things available at that election
Yeah.
integrity panel.
how many do you think we'll need
For what?
of those stickers? How much are the stickers? I can find somebody to donate them.
For 240, they're $140.
I can find a donor.
We, after speaking with Lisa, we are not allowed to take donations or do any fundraising. If so, then it has to go to the city
What-
council.
Well,
Can one commissioner come up with those?
we cannot do any fundraising. I know
Absolutely no fundraising.
Sister Cities
Nope.
does I've seen them out by the Cashwise
Can
brat stand.
Can I get on the internet on my computer?
I mean, is that a special?
I don't think so.
I asked about the sister cities, I asked about the fire department, and I asked about Herman Monument Society, and there's an explanation for each one, as it's not being done by the specific group. So if somebody else
You mean
wants to
this-
fundraise
Well,
for us,
but
the
the volun-
finance manager told me.
But the volunteers are there. How does that work? The volunteers are manning the broad stand. The firemen are selling tickets. I'm not quite following.
The money goes, for
logic
the
here.
firemen, the money goes to a different group that then is, dispersed is the way I understood it. But I had an email back from Lisa, who contacted the finance manager, and she explained, no, we
Okay.
cannot do any fundraising as the Human Rights Commission.
Okay.
If people wanted to give us money,
Like the League of Women Voters wanted to give us money?
If the League of Women Voters wanted to give us money, it would have to go in our name to the city
City council.
council, and then they
They
would
will-
approve giving us those funds.
So
Okay.
if we would work the broad stand and the money would go to the Babel Benevolent Fund, it could be donated to the Human Rights Commission.
I cannot speak for sure on that because
What it sounds like.
If a business wants to donate to the city for the Human Rights Commission, they can do that? We'll figure-
yep, they have to make sure that's earmarked specifically
Specifically?
for the Human Rights Commission.
Got it. Okay.
Looks like the mayor would like
The mayor's
to-
got
Yeah,
some
I suppose I should go to
comments
the
on
mic.
this.
For example, Park and Rec. Anytime they get a donation, whether it's for a paver at German Park, or whether it's a paver for Herman Heights, or whether it's X number of dollars for days of play, or you name it, it all comes through. First, it goes to the Park and Rec, and they recommend that they will accept that money, which then gets sent to to the city council for them to accept the recommendation, to accept the money, something like that. It's got to go through the council, but with Park and Rec, it's an almost monthly thing that somebody is donating money for days of play or Skate with Santa or.
We just cannot actively solicit donations.
And with the Sister Cities Commission, instead of having advisors, as many advisors as somebody would like to be, maybe that they would like to be called advisors, they are now friends. Library has
The
Friends of the Library, and the library friends do raise money. But again, that's got to come through the council eventually.
So we would need friends of the Human Rights Commission to fundraise
to
for us.
to work
to then-
to work a broad stand or to
And none of us
Okay.
can be a part of that.
well
No, we can.
I think as long as it's under this other umbrella. It's really tricky, and where the money goes is another tricky part.
And usually, then, the people who are raising the money, am I correct that they have to be nonprofits? They have to be registered nonprofits?
Registers the 501c3?
I do not know the answer to that question. I know that there was one group that, for an example, had some money set aside for whatever, and a member of the commission's, I'm going to say, mother died, and they wanted to use some of that money to send flowers. Illegal. At least it was determined it was illegal.
Personal.
So the person who ordered the flowers donated the flowers by
Okay.
himself, herself. So I'm not exactly sure all the legal, you'd almost have to talk to the city
For now.
law firm.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, thank you.
It seems there's three possibilities. Maybe a business can donate money for the stickers or whatever. Or a nonprofit can be formed, or we can find a nonprofit that is interested in supporting the human rights, or just any other organization if they don't need to be nonprofit. So there's like three possibilities, and we can go and put those three scenarios and see if one of them works.
I think we need to talk to the city attorney regarding
I was just gonna
that.
say, I could probably
Yeah.
contact either Roger or Tom.
Yep, and just, get the skinny on that and how to proceed. and
Right.
Maybe we can address that in our next meeting next month.
Okay.
If you could do that, thank you, Dan.
Bet.
Thank you so much.
And finally, I just want to say one more thing about the fair. It is a big commitment to be manning the booth, because I've been there. Usually, we in any organization that I represented in the fair, we'd like to have at least 2 people on the booth, especially with human rights or a political party. You never know who's crazy is going to come up and wants to punch you. So, I mean, yeah, we have those. We
What
have
are-
those.
What are the hours of the the booths being open there, I mean, they're not going till midnight, I wouldn't think,
No,
like the
oh,
rest
no,
of the fair.
no, but still, when you start counting the amount of hours that we're supposed to be manning it, it's,
Yeah.
that's when we need friends of the Human Rights
Right.
Commission,
Right.
you know? And we can ask around.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, we have to realize there's only so many of us too, and it's a 4-day event.
You know, compared like to the DFL.
I mean, it's not
we have known, you know, just a few. We had a whole bunch more people, you know, there. So that's something to
We,
consider.
you know,
Uh-huh.
it's giving me pause in even having a booth. You know, things have gotten planted in my head here with the Friends of the Human Rights Commission. I think that's an avenue I think we need to look at, because we will need more volunteers. Even if we hit up our families, so to speak, I still think we're going to be short-staffed, or we're going to be out at the fair every day. And I don't think
Yes.
anybody wants that.
When is the fair again?
Your friends
Remember
could be
August?
past
August.
members of this.
9 to
Right.
13. Excellent. And so as long as there is possibly one commissioner there and
Right.
one supporting
Yeah,
person, then
yeah.
I think we can take.
And I hate to say this, but I think I'm going to be out of the country. I know. Sorry.
I don't want to let this slip through.
No.
I think
Okay.
this is very,
No.
very important for our name,
Yeah,
people in
I
the
agree.
city.
I agree.
I would suggest we get a roster of past members who would be willing to help us out for a few hours.
Even some of the people that we have a list of for the signs that we
Yes.
passed out would probably be a good idea.
Oh, that's not it.
And
Well,
I
looky
will-
there.
That's not it.
Oh,
And I
Those are
will
board
ask
members,
some of
that's
the
okay.
organizations that I
Sorry.
belong to.
that's all right.
No, none of them
Get some of them,
political.
maybe.
Yeah, well,
That sounds great.
We'll be friends.
So, yeah, I will ask some of the organizations I belong to that are non-political, and see if somebody would like to volunteer to help us. And also, we also have the youth volunteers. At least there is one volunteer that was really helpful. She really helped me with putting up the display at the library. I'd like to officially thank her, Sage Lehman, I think it is. And so that's another possibility.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mankato Pride. The Pride Fest is on September 9th. Should we table this until next month?
I think we should discuss it then when we have a
After we've
couple
been
more
through-
people here.
I agree. All right, so we will table Mankato Pride Fest until our July meeting.
I do, if I can go back to the Brown County Fair, I do think we should have that firmed up as best we can by next meeting. And also, everybody keep in mind, you know, we need roster slots and how long we're going to be there.
I could be there some of the evenings, but I won't be there on long time.
I have a slots. I have roster slots
Okay.
already. I'll send them to everybody
Alrighty.
and see how that looks.
Excellent, thank you.
Do we know the exact hours that the building opens and closes? We have to-
If I have last year's, and I'm assuming it'll be very, very
Probably,
similar.
yeah.
Would you
I think it's up to, like,
email it
I
out
will.
to the group then,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Video contest for the Education Committee report.
I don't know. Wendy Ringhofer is not here.
Right, let's,
I have not. I haven't discussed any.
let's table
Yeah.
the video contest.
Okay.
Is everybody okay with tabling
Yes.
that? Okay. Community outreach, Ron was pursuing the newspaper article. So we need a volunteer to take over.
I'd like to do that.
Excellent, thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Letter to the editor. We wanted to wait until we had something to write to the editor about. And I think yard signs was brought up at the last meeting, that somebody would, or we'd have somebody write a letter to the editor about our yard signs and see how that.
If I may back up again, I do think these signs are an important part of what we do. I think a story on these signs would be applicable to what we're trying to do with your newspaper article, and then talking, of course, about the Human Rights Commission here in New Ulm and its history, if you wish to do that. But I think tying it in, hopefully getting a picture of this and putting it in the paper and utilizing that as an article, and perhaps letter to the editor, if we can contact a couple of people who are not on the Human Rights Commission, and more than one, to write a letter and sign it with a few names to it, I think would be very beneficial.
I have somebody that owes me a favor for a letter to the editor.
Okay.
So I
But
will
those
ask
are my
him.
thoughts.
I will contact him and see if he would write a letter for us in regards. He also has a sign, so I'll contact somebody if somebody else would like to do that as well. Just let me know. We can go from there. I don't think it's going to be an issue having more than one person sign off on a letter, or, I mean, it would be great to have multiple people want to write letters.
So Tim, are you talking about having the newspaper article kind of in conjunction with the letter to the editor? kind
No,
of
not necessarily.
simultaneously, or just
No.
both of them in there at some point?
At some point,
increases
both of them getting
visibility?
in there. I think we need the story out there first regarding these. I think if we have a story regarding these signs, it's going to naturally bring some letters to the editor
Right.
Sure.
from other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'd contact Kevin Sweeney, the editor of the Journal, tell him Human Rights Commission has got these signs. Would you be willing to do a little story on us? And I'll put a bug in his ear as well about that. I'll be mentioning that you'll be getting in touch with him, Dan. How does that
That
sound?
sounds fine.
All
Thank
right.
you,
I think
sir.
I just sent him an article today.
All
so,
right.
Perfect, thank you.
I would also like to mention that one idea I have is to give the sign, the picture of the sign to Newcat, and then have a little blurb saying, you're interested in getting the sign, contact, City Hall, and ask for, give a message for the, Human Rights Commission, if that's okay with this commission.
Now, getting back to what the newspaper article that Ron was pursuing, I believe what he was pursuing was the Town Talk article that's in every week from the city of New Ulm.
Correct.
Okay.
But I think we need to do that. But I think we also need a story on the signs.
I agree.
Yeah.
I believe the mayor's got,
Once more, yeah, sorry about that, but great idea, because the city has been receiving, or had been receiving some, questions or maybe even negative
that's not
statements,
surprising.
because we were not telling people what we do. I get the question, okay, you have this commission, and I don't care what you put, whatever name you want of all the commissions that we have, what do they do? I had a tough time explaining a commission to someone because they don't happen to meet every month. They meet when needed, and so the person was kind of, how do I schedule that? So we have to be more open with what our commissions do, how to contact our commissions. So this is where this newspaper article, it's once a week, I think, comes into a play. And I know the PUC has been in a couple of times with different things. Street Department has been in with a couple of things. I think Manager Grumman's had an article or two. So, yeah, I think this can all be coordinated, and I think it's great that the Human Rights Commission is working already to get involved in it and say, hey, this is who we are, and this is why we're here.
Thank you.
Good.
Did you want to say something?
no.
Oh, you.
So
I was thinking about it, but
Just
then I,
to recap, I want to make sure it's okay to give it the sign, everybody's okay giving the sign to Newcat and said, contact the city hall if you want to sign.
well,
Okay,
sure.
yeah?
I think it's a fine idea.
Just checking.
So
The
then,
more of them we have out, the better it is.
I agree.
Okay.
To recap, Dan, you are going to take care of the newspaper article, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Both of them?
Both of them.
All right, and then after that, then we will go
Let's
through. with the
do a
editor.
natural progression. Let's see if we
Some comments.
see if we get some letters to the editor. If not, we can maybe prompt somebody to. Would you be willing to write a letter to the editor in support of these.
Excellent. Okay, Alma, you were going to speak about the forum?
Oh,
that you
yes.
attended?
The Greater Mankato Diversity Council, I don't know if everybody is familiar with it. If you know Bukata Hayes, I think he was here and talked to us at
Yep.
one point. And in conjunction with the Region 9 Development Commission, they have been putting forums on race in different cities. I think so far they have put one, I think in Rochester and Owatonna, I think, I'm not sure. And they asked District 88, Jeff Bertrand, if they would be, if he thought that they would be an interest in having one in Neom. So Jeff sent some emails and some notices to people that he thought might be interested in participating or giving their opinions. One of these persons was Wendy Ringhofer, which called me, and so we both attended a meeting. And there was, I think, the chamber for sure. So the chamber was represented. St. Anthony Middle School, I think 3M was there. And they all agreed that they thought it was a good idea. Wendy and I thought it would be a good idea, and we'll present it to you, to this commission, and see if anybody is interested. I got the impression that it is fluid. They come and they basically look at the community and what the issues are, and then they put the forum together, just like the League of Women Voters. And they both the people in charge, her name is Jessica, I forgot her last name, but and Bukata ask us if you know somebody who's part of the community that would be interested in this, or you think would bring something to the forum, please give us their name. So I want to ask all the commissioners if they would be interested in me giving your names to Bukata Hayes. Both Wendy and I think we're going to be there representing the Human Rights Commission, if you guys think it's a good idea. And this will be in September, and it's September 18th. So, you think it's something that you want the Human Rights Commission to be represented?
Well,
Obviously.
Abso-
yes.
absolutely.
Definitely.
So
And
you need a motion for that?
Do I have a motion to
Or do you need one?
represent the Human Rights Commission at the race forum in September?
So moved.
Second?
Second, all in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
All
Good.
opposed?
All right, and
Excellent.
Wendy and Ringhofer and I will keep you guys informed of what's going on. And should I just give the organizers the name of all the commissioners? And
I think so.
okay,
Sure.
and then you can choose whether you want to attend and how much you want to participate.
Thank you.
Did I say September 18th?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to the current human rights issues. Wanted to do did I do something? Or you can.
No, I'm
Okay.
not, yeah.
Do an update on the yard signs. We talked a little bit about that before. I had a lady drive by our home and stop in the middle of the street to tell my boyfriend how much she loved the sign and ask where she could get one. And at that time, we were still waiting on the second order. I had a friend who had her sign stolen the first night she had it up. I haven't heard of anybody else that has run into any problems. It seems to have gone over really well as far as I have been approached about. Has anybody else had any feedback at all?
Oh, I didn't ask for.
I've heard good things about it.
Mhm.
People,
Has anything been said to the city? Commented on, calls for, anything along those lines? Okay, thank you.
So today I have distributed 30 of them.
30? Does anybody else know of anybody that would want one, that I can get signs too. If so, why don't you send me an email with name and address or contact information? I can definitely get a hold of them and get signs over. I think Ruth Ann Webster brought this up earlier about the decrease in polling locations in New Ulm. Back in the June 20th edition of the New Ulm Journal, they had an article going over what the city council had talked about. And it looks like that they are proposing decreasing the amount of polling places. I can go ahead and read what the article said. Finance Director Nicole Jorgensen will present information to the council regarding the city's election polling places. During the recent legislative session, Minnesota passed a bill authorizing funding to help counties replace and upgrade existing election equipment. Brown County may choose to replace its equipment, but in the interest of saving money and adding new technology to polling sites, they are considering a reduction in the number of polling places. At this time, New Ulm is divided into 4 wards with 2 precincts in each ward. In previous elections, each of the 8 precincts had its own polling station. This proposed reduction would cut polling places down to 4 with a single voting location in each ward. This would increase the traffic to each polling location, but the use of electronic polling books and additional booths could speed up the process. The county has made no decision yet on whether to reduce the polling stations, but they will have conversations on the topic during the budget process. The city could continue with 8 polling locations, but the cost of upgrading the additional 4 sites not covered by the grant is estimated between $46,400 and $53,200. Like Ruth Ann brought up before, voting is a human right. This is something we need to keep a close eye on.
We want to make it easy, not harder.
Right. And definitely cutting them in half is going to make it harder. Thoughts?
Again, during the council meeting, discussion was held, a little bit of discussion, no decisions were made. But according to some research that was done, more people are voting early. They're getting, I'm not sure if it's called an absentee ballot or if it's called a early voting ballot or whatever, but more and more people are getting their vote in. Good or bad, I have my mixed emotions about voting early, but the amount of money that it would cost to buy all the machines for 4 units by the city of New Ulm is a good chunk of change. Plus, you probably wouldn't need as many election judges as you would. And with this new equipment, you're supposed to be able to speed up the results to the county. So the county can get their results into the state, and we can be a leader. I don't know, and somebody called me, one of the people called me and said, well, but I've always voted. And I says, well, what ward are you in? And they told me in the ward, they said, well, excuse me, but I voted in at least two different places, and I haven't moved. The wards have changed. The locations have changed in other times. I think it's going to be a council decision. If there's a concern, you're perfectly welcome to come in with the next time that I'm not sure when it's going to be on the agenda. But it's a budget money issue, and it's a time issue. And it's a location issue. There is one ward that they don't know if they've got a place that can handle it. So that might be a reason to not go there. But all the other wards seem to have a location.
Have you ever had a problem with waiting to vote? Every time I go there, it's so quick. I mean, compared to other places where I live, that is like, ooh, this is nice. So, and that would go into it too.
Again, I think it's a time thing. There are some people that want to vote before they go to work. And if there's a whole bunch of people that want to vote before they go to work, 8 o'clock comes real quick.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and if they want to wait till after work, well, it's all, if people can, if other people can find a time to, I don't know which is how it's going to
And
work.
that is the issue, to
And
make
it's a
sure
lot of
that
training.
people can go before work or after work, because some
Right.
people cannot
Right.
take off work.
Right,
That's
right,
exactly.
No,
the
by
issue.
law, they
They
get
have
to,
to
they
be able
get
to
take,
take off work.
they can take off
Take
work to
off
vote.
work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's by law, so, so you can't say, well, gee, I had to be at work and I couldn't vote. That's a poor excuse, and a not true excuse, I guess, would be the proper word to use.
So,
The issue too is the early voting lines. I mean, there was quite a few when I went.
You know,
Like, that was,
Oh, really?
they were waiting.
So I see a couple of different problems here. Right now, we're all giving positive feedback on how quick it is to go in and vote, which is great because it brings in the opportunity for more people to vote because they're not discouraged because of the long lines or the wait. The other thing I see that might be a problem with this is that we're looking to grow our community. We're looking to increase citizens here. And with what we've done with the renew tax, I think we're going to see more people moving into town, more younger people, more voters. So if we're having an influx of people coming in and we're cutting polling places, increasing wait time, this is not at all giving anybody an easy voting ability. It seems to me like maybe this next election, it might be just fine, but going forward, I think it may decrease voters because of time constraints and location transportation.
Well, I'll play the devil's advocate here. I mean, the mayor's right. The early voting, absentee ballots have grown quite a bit. The other side of the coin is too, and I agree, we need to have access to voting. It's not a big community. It is going to be a city council decision. I mean, the best that we can do, and frankly, the only thing that we can do is go before the city council and let them know our concerns. And they're going to make the ultimate decision. We're not going to have a say in it, but we can advocate for keeping it
Fortunately,
as it is.
Comes down to money, and that shouldn't
Yeah.
be the reason things are done that way.
Do we have any idea what this technology, or what is it gonna do, or what is it supposedly, something in the article about it could speed up the process, how, or what is it doing? Is it just a software update? Is it a brand new,
Well, it's the voting machines, isn't it?
it's a whole new voting machine?
We won't, my guess is it's, machines, and we won't have to circle the little dot, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
That's
I don't even-
my understanding,
Yeah,
but I
it's,
could definitely be wrong.
With the price tag, it's more than just paper.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I'd like to find out what exactly.
And the county is the one that I think who brought this up, because they would like everything to be
Right,
updated throughout
right.
the county to expedite matters for them, because it can be a long, arduous process for them on a election night
Yeah.
in getting things together.
Yeah, and I think and I don't think that they had a choice. I mean, they did have to update. They have to
Right,
update
they have to
the
update.
equipment.
And the state is giving them, for the city of New Ulm, the state is giving them 4.
That's right.
The grant is for them to buy 4 machines.
Is this a one and done grant, or is
I
there
think so.
possible
Yeah.
money going?
I don't,
I
but there
think it's
again, do
done.
you do half of them one year and the rest of them the next? I think you're gonna make the change, I think you better make the change, whether it's 4 from the county and have the city buy 4 more. That's something that I think it's gotta be a one and, it's gotta be done at the same time.
This is something we can kind of keep an eye on as to when the
Yeah.
city council is going to talk about this more.
Does anybody know if election judges are paid?
Yes,
They are paid, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well,
We'll just kind of keep an eye on this, and we can bring it up at the next meeting or as new information comes in.
I think there's one township that no longer has a polling place, they mail them all out.
Okay.
Has it been suggested which polling places would be eliminated under this plan?
I can tell you 3 already established polling places that would stay for sure. And that's the Civic Center, the Community Center, and Vogel. And there's where the 4th one comes in then. And I didn't mean Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, Ward 4, I'm just saying, of the 4 wards, there's 1 ward that may not have enough room or may not want that much traffic at their establishment or their building. That hasn't been decided yet either.
Do the establishments get paid at all for holding it?
Of course, this community center and the civic center and the Vogel, they're all city buildings, therefore, no, they don't get paid.
But the other ones are
The other
churches.
ones, the other ones
Yeah.
are churches, I think,
And the hospital.
and a hospital. So I do not know if those are donated times, donated electricity, et cetera, or if there's a fee. I don't know that.
Okay, thank you. So we'll just keep an eye on that for now. People haven't had a chance to see. It does look like the Supreme Court approved the partial travel ban. So it just brings it again to the
Yeah, right.
front of everything. Kind of keep that in mind when you're seeing articles or just information come up that we are still a welcoming commission, we're a welcoming city, and we want people to feel safe here and, that they have a place in our city.
Hence the signs.
Hence the signs, that is right. Alma, would you like to give us the
I
legislative
don't have an
update?
update today,
No
and I have another meeting, so I have to leave pretty soon,
Okay,
so.
well, we've only got a couple more here.
Okay.
Do we want to continue membership of the League of Minnesota Human Rights Commission? I think until they have everything straightened out and get back on their feet, that we do not continue our membership after this year.
Yeah, I agree. And we have to tell Lisa right away because she just pays it as it comes along. So we have to tell her, do not pay for the next year.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we leave the League of Minnesota Human Rights Commission.
I have a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Excellent. I will email Lisa about the dues for the next year. Budget. Everybody should have a copy of the budget that I quickly kind of came up with. It was due last week. We have an extension, so now it is, I will be turning it in before the 30th. I have a couple of different on there. Neither of them have dues for the human rights or the Minnesota for the league.
Yeah, but that's only
so.
100 and
Right.
something. About
We really need to increase funding on the community events as well as the program expenses. Video contest, from what information I've received from the committee looking into that, $225 only takes care of one prize. We want to increase mileage and education expenses so that everybody feels safe being able to go. It's a substantial increase, what we're asking for a budget, but I feel that our commission is doing a substantial increase in our community actions as well. So we need to have the money behind it to be able to continue that. And as we were talking about wanting to do more for the fair, or when we do work with other commissions or other organizations, we'd like to be able to have it. And right now, we're coming down to, we don't have the money to do what we need to do to get our name out there.
Right, advertise.
We need more money in community events and promo materials, in my opinion. We're going to have, and frankly, we're probably going to take that from somewhere down here.
yeah. And just based on this year's budget.
We could probably lower the program expenses. We could probably take some money out of that. I think we want to keep the essay and the poster contest the same since we went over on the poster contest this year. by $100 or $113. The program, like right now, I have the yard signs I had just in with the program expenses, and we went over by about $1,000 if we're gonna put it there. I would like to put through option 2.
Yeah.
Well, I would too.
Yeah, agreed.
But even at option 2, community events and promo materials needs more money,
Okay, and what?
in my opinion.
So proposed and we take it away from a
And-
different category, or we just add to?
It depends on what the council is willing to do for us. I look at the community events and promo materials to be kind of a one-shot, if you will. Not quite a one-shot, but it's something that, it's like restocking your pantry.
Yeah.
You've got to get your basics, and that's what we need to do. The Human Rights Commission has not had any promo materials per se in Lord knows how long, until this year. And we're finding out how expensive that can be. And I really think we need to put some money there. I mean, it's nice to give away for the essay contest poster, the video contest, which is new. It's good to get speakers in, but I think we have to take care of us first, if you will,
One step at a time.
one step at a time to get our message out in the best way we possibly can with these materials and promo materials. And then, frankly, I wouldn't mind seeing that at $1,500.
I was just gonna ask, should I just put a 1 in front of that?
I mean,
Okay,
and this is money that's not going to be, we don't need that much money every year. But we need to have a good amount so that we can get some good promotional materials going here for our commission.
Well, you could flip it with the program expenses. Flip those two.
Yeah, we could flip those two.
okay.
That would work too.
I think it comes down to promoting the brand, really.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
That's where we're at right now, is in the promotion process.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go,
And
keep
when
the
it co-
original community
and when it comes
events.
to speakers and honorariums, again, that is something that we can
partner.
hopefully partner with somebody
Okay.
and split those fees for those people coming in.
Okay. So I will increase the promo materials up to
No,
15.
well, we can do the $1,250 and utilize it that way. I'd
I already
say,
have it in magic marker, the 15. So,
All right.
let's see here. I would like to see a bit of an increase in the Human Rights Award reception and plaque. It's important,
Okay.
very important, that we recognize the people who are making a difference here. And so it's only a couple $100, but, that can make a big difference.
Yeah.
Especially if we're gonna do promotions there. If we have people that, we have many people that attend, so let's have some, information about us while it's there. I don't have a calculator on me. But by changing the community events to 1,500 and decreasing program expenses to 850,
are you doing that on option 2 here?
option 2, yes, sir.
And decreasing which one?
Program
This
expenses
is 2,
down to
for-
850.
850, okay. So we
Does-
end up with,
That takes us to 7,100.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve this submission of option 2 with the changes that have been made to the city for approval as our 2018 budget?
So moved?
I have a second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, I will make sure to submit the option 2 proposed 2018 budget before the 30th as of the due date.
And let's cross our fingers.
And cross our fingers, that's right. I plan on submitting, like this, it's a invoice of the things that I would like to do, along with explanations as to why we've increased what
I
we've
think we're
increased.
gonna need explanations, there's no question about that.
Yeah. Or like estimates on if we want to do new brochures. We're
Yep.
going to be doing that next year, I think, because those are not going to be cheap, I
No.
imagine,
No.
if any of you laminate in color and 6 sides, 8 sides,
Mhm.
so.
I think a trifold is the way to go.
Oh,
Yes.
and we were going to participate in the night out too? Did we talk about that?
We have not talked about
About
it,
that.
but
Okay.
I'll make
We'll
sure to get
do-
it on,
yeah. I mean, we might need a little bit of a
Right.
budget for that too, so that can go into the budget.
okay. Next meeting, July 24th. Anybody have anything they'd like to mention before we adjourn? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So adjourns the meeting of the 2017 June 26th Human Rights Commission. Thank you.